is Linnea, and you are watching The Feminine Mind. Thank you so much for joining me. I apologize for being a little bit late, but I had such a full day that I had to kind of make some space. So I have been doing this live video since Friday evening, I think it is, as it was to speak about the fact that Afua Rose of the Afua Speaks YouTube channel was arrested. Now, she was arrested for malicious communications and hate speech. And just to correct something that I have said, she has not been charged. But as you know, when it comes to police investigations, not being charged doesn't mean that you're not being investigated, okay? So there will be more to come from this arrest that Afua Rose experienced on Friday. And I felt it was so important for me to go back in order to go forward, because I have been speaking with DJ Stylah. I've been speaking with a range of people. I have about 10 more emails to open in regards to Afua Rose. Seriously, so if you haven't heard from me yet, just know that I will get in touch with every single person who has reached out to me. Some people are reaching out to me on Instagram, some on Facebook, some via email. You can contact me directly at linneaofficial.com. That's my official website. And thank you. I also want to say thank you so much to everyone who reached out to me since yesterday, because I actually shared yesterday what my issue is with Afua Rose and why I started making content about her. And I realized that a lot of people didn't really know, the gist of what was really going on. And I felt so supported, so loved, so much empathy, because, narcissists, they cannot show empathy. So I really felt so much love and support, and I want to say thank you. And what I will say, Afua Rose is a relentless liar, and due to the lies that I've experienced that she's told on me, I take everything that she's got to say, no matter what it is, with a big pinch of salt. So thank you, Stephen. Stephen says, what's up, SG Official? Thank you so much for joining me. And blessings, Kerry. It is a pleasure to have you here. I have learned so much more about Afua Rose, so much to the point that I'm not sure if I'm going to share what I know via a live stream or if I have to actually make a documentary at this stage. There's some stories are absolutely unbelievable. Do you understand what I mean? Like, some stories take days to process. And as you're processing, there's more information coming in. And in regards to this specific issue with Afua Rose and Stylah G, who is Stylah G? Stylah G, the dancehall artist. No, DJ Stylah. This is quite an unbelievable story. Not that it's not to be believed, but it's so extreme. It's so callous. The behavior, the energy, the efforts that Afua Rose has taken towards him, it's heartbreaking. Like, I have a lot of empathy, and I know that we all have to suffer on this planet in one way or another. Do you know what I mean? But I don't particularly sit well with abuse, bullying, savagery, barbarism. And unfortunately, in this instance, it's not just Afua Rose who is to blame. There are a few people who are to blame, and a few people who are responsible, essentially, for what I would how can I describe it? Is some gully stuff, like people from the gully, people who have nothing better to do, essentially, people who have no internal compass, no way of assessing if what's coming out of their mouth is actually acceptable, whether it's in public or on social media. And so let's just remember that when I'm sharing these stories, when we're seeing Afua Rose being arrested, okay, this is not coming on the back of someone's joy. This has come about because someone has been truly hurt. People have attempted to destroy people here. People have attempted, Afua Rose as the pioneer of that movement, to really damage and destroy people here. And that is not fair, and it's not right, and it will not be tolerated. It will not be accepted. So please remember, this isn't a love and hip hop. This isn't the Desperate Housewives. It's not a reality TV show. This is about innocent people being attacked, abused, defamed, lied on for no other reason than one woman's ego is eclipsing what essentially could be quite a powerful movement and a positive focus. Okay, so we need to really bear in mind, like, as I come throughout the week and share with you, this is not entertainment. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is not entertainment. It's not a talk show. And the things that Afua has caused other people to experience, she is intentionally and consciously inflicting trauma upon innocent people. Now, I always like to go back and say, I am not saying that every person that Afua has spoken on is innocent. But if there's even one innocent person in the midst of what she's done, she has to be held accountable. Too many of her followers give these excuses. Well, isn't she really outing? Yes, I'm sure, of course. You know, the devil mixes lies with the truth. And in order to have any kind of traction, she would have to speak about people who have really done the things that she's describing. But she has no morals, no ethics, no humanity, essentially. And this is the reason why I'm very careful about over aligning with fake woke black isms, because it gives permission to uneducated, and I don't mean book smart, I mean humanity smart, uneducated, dunce people to have no boundaries. It allows people to bully other people. It allows people to think that their opinions have more weight than the safety and the well-being, do you get what I'm saying, of another person. So in this video, I am going to be reviewing the first video that I did about Afua Rose. As I said, I have to go back to go forward. And even when I start to detail the many, many layers of information that have been shared with me in regards to how this issue came about with DJ Stylah and Afua, it will be chronological. I will be sharing chronological information, like, this is what happened first. Look at this. I am not here to just chat and chat and chat. I will be sharing visuals, do you understand? So you can understand and really see from different perspectives what is actually happening in Afua's mind, how, you know, how lacking she is, how much of her feminine energy isn't even available to her. And as by default, she ends up attacking literally in some of the most inhumane ways that I've ever seen, attacking innocent people. So I explained yesterday that I am one of those people who came under the attack of this trauma pimp, which showed me that the same issues that I created this channel to discuss, they are so prevalent in our society. Do you understand what I'm saying? These women. Now, I know it's easy to talk about men, and I'm not pro men and not pro women. I'm actually pro woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? I am personally pro woman. However, I'm most importantly pro truth. I am pro truth. My soul loves truth at the end of the day. And when I see how women have lost their way, when I see how women have failed to take accountability for their own traumas, and so they want to poison and attack. When I see oftentimes, even raising my daughter, how many women were raising their children, I don't think it's cute. Do you understand what I'm saying? And yes, there are reasons for many things, but sometimes one of the major reasons is some people are just wicked. And for me, because this is my channel talking about things that are on my mind, I try to stay away from the excuses, because we have to take accountability for our lives, for our conduct. And if we don't take accountability, we will end up like Afua. Afua is going to court in June for another defamation case. These are separate cases. Afua just went to court last week for a defamation case. Then she was arrested at the end of that case for malicious communications and hate speech. That's a separate case. So what Afua was banking on, which she directly told me, is that she thought that it costs £200,000, yeah, to pursue a defamation case. I have later found out that's actually not true. She was banking on poverty. Imagine if poverty is your shield to say, The people who I'm calling out will not have £200,000, and so I can just say whatever I want to say. Now, some people, they think it's not what you say, it's how you say it. In Afua's case, it's nothing about how she's saying anything. She behaves in a very vile way. That is her nature. But what this is really about is what she says and what she does. And in this video that I'm about to present to you, I will show you another lie. I will show you how I think I'm going to make a video, 10 lies that I have verified Afua Rose has told. This person is a prolific liar. And if she has studied psychotherapy, that is at the detriment of the people who she's connected with. Because people who have studied the psychotherapy fields, they know how to isolate people. They know literally what things work, what tactics can work to make what you're saying credible to someone who may not know better. Do you understand what I'm saying? So thanks again for joining me. Apologies for being late. Thank you all so much for your support. A big shout out to everyone who's been reaching out to me. And now we're going to go into this video. I'll see if it plays straight away. If not, I'll just bring it back in. Last year, I decided to make a series of documentaries. Initially, the reason was I found that when I was working with my clients, friends, family, community, I always had to tell a similar story to kind of drive a point home to them, to explain something. And so I found that there were certain stories that I kept on repeating. And when I realized that, I said, you know what? Oh, I've just realized, sorry. I should probably get the ring light sorted because it's getting dark. That's what's going on. Sure. So I said, you know what? Let me make some documentaries. You get what I'm saying? Let me make some short videos. They were initially supposed to be a lot shorter, not as technical. I wanted to make some videos to tell some stories so that when it came up, literally, I would be like, oh, watch that and think about that. And these videos were multi-purpose for all different kind of people, whether they were coming from an immigration background, generational healing, trauma healing, sexual assault, toxic femininity, toxic masculinity, parents who were traumatized. There was just understanding. And although I've stopped at 8, I'm clearly going to continue because that was me laying the foundation for a wider conversation. You see what I'm saying? So halfway, the documentary does speak about violence. It speaks about domestic abuse in different aspects, whether it's children or in relationships, in addition to many other things, okay? And the documentary also speaks about something that I feel is very prevalent within Jamaican society, which is the abuse of women and children, okay? And sexual assault specifically. So halfway through the documentary, I had by this point mentioned various different situations and people and scenarios where these kind of occurrences were happening, right? And I had started a campaign on my own pages that I created and on my personal pages to highlight someone in Jamaica who I knew was, I'm trying to use my language properly because of the internet. What was it that I came up with? A serial assaulter of women, okay? I didn't know he was a serial assaulter of women. I knew he was an assaulter of women. So before I put the documentary out to share what I knew, bear in mind, this is why I've explained throughout the video what my background is, working in wellness, working in women's wellness, working in healing trauma, all of this stuff. So it wasn't just out of the blue. This is after 10 years of hardcore work in these lanes, okay? Before I put the documentary out, I started a campaign to ask people what did they know, okay? And I was simply asking, if you or anyone else that you know have been assaulted by this person, please come forward, right? Cool. During that period of time, many women, I can't tell the number off the top of my head, maybe 8 to 10 women came forward to say that they had indeed been assaulted by this man in Mandeville. Which shocked me because my initial documentary was just going to be a solo thing. But every time a woman came along, it changed the shape of the story I was going to tell. And I was also sharing some of the information online, trying to get more women to come forward. And I realized that I had literally uncovered a serial antagonist and assaulter of women who I had grew up with in Mandeville, in Jamaica. Okay, right. While I was doing this campaign, I shared this information everywhere. Facebook, the WhatsApp status, Instagram. I even created 2 separate pages for this issue on Instagram. Okay. Candice, who actually you can see we're talking in the last video, she's talking and I'm talking back to her. She reaches out to me and she says, do you know of this lady called Afua Rose? So I said no, because at the time I think I'd been here for about 6 months and I didn't know anything about Afua Rose. And she said, well, Afua Rose is a lady, she speaks about predatorial behavior against women in the UK, and she's been exposing a range of predators, serial assaulters, family assaulters, incest, the whole thing. She's been exposing it for a little while. And I was like, wow, I never heard about her. But the thing is, because I was going to do a documentary and I had so much information to share, I had one question that I really wanted answered. And I stick a pin. I just want to say, which I should have said before, but as I started to watch it, I'm like, okay, so this, what I'm speaking about, this part of a video, this is part of a video, okay? This is the last section of a 7-hour live stream. I did that live stream on the 7th of the 7th, 2023. So that's last year, July on the 7th. I did it after sitting down for 4 months and bearing witness to Afua and her demonic behavior. Afua literally mixing with trolls, people who I told her were trolls, which I will mention here, and intentionally trying to break me down, whether it's professionally, personally, my womanhood, my sexuality, my family, my business. Do you understand what I'm saying? I watched this. I was told, I was fully aware of it, and I sat with it for 4 months. And in July of last year, I decided to speak about it. So as you can see in this video, I am well shined. That's because I'm at literally like hour 6, yeah, of a 7-hour video. And I coined that day because the 8th of the 8th is known as Lionsgate. This is an astrology thing, yeah? It's known as Lionsgate. So I coined the 7th of the 7th Crabsgate because July 7th falls in Cancer season, and the animal that represents Cancer is the crab. And I was directly connecting this to crab in a barrel syndrome. I understood that the reason why Afua was coming for me is because she is a crab, a self-volunteering crab, and she has what we call crab in a barrel syndrome. Now, I thought that crab in a barrel syndrome was a Jamaican saying, but when I was doing this live stream and I was presenting my issues, my evidences with people who dared to call my name on Afua's platform, I had an audience of people in the States. I think I initially did this, not on this channel, but on my Linnea YouTube channel and on Facebook. So I was streaming on 2 platforms. And then after a while, I realized, hold on, this shouldn't really be on my music channel. So I condensed, I put the whole video up. You can watch the whole video. Please don't call me sis. Toxic femininity and crab in a barrel syndrome. But to make it easier for people, because I don't really sit down and watch 7-hour videos, yeah, I cut out specific excerpt. So a lot is missing here. Like within the video, I talk about crab in a barrel syndrome and good versus evil. I speak about how this has been taking place from the beginning of time. Do you understand what I'm saying? So whether you're dealing with religion or you're dealing with ancient stories, ancestry, any part of the planet that you go to, you will see stories about rivals or rivalry between forces of good and forces of evil. Within Christianity, I gave the example of Cain and Abel. That's some real crab in a barrel business. You get what I'm saying? Cain took out his brother Abel. Within ancient Egyptology, which is something that I've been studying since I was about 16, I gave the example of Asar and Set, and how Set literally created a coffin for his own brother, because, you know, burial is really big to the ancient Egyptians, invited him to a party, said, "This is for you, my brother," and told his brother Asar to try out the coffin. And when Asar went into the coffin, he nailed it down and threw it into the River Nile. And Asar was, you know, demolished and split into 14 parts. So these stories of good versus evil, they're not like modern history or modern heritage. They have been documented all over the planet, going way back to the beginning of time. I told the story about the Sumerian history, that's pre-Egypt, and how Enlil and Enki, who came from the heavens, they were brothers who were at war. And I gave these examples because oftentimes when people are being attacked, you know, when they're being antagonized by negative forces that embody people, it can be really hard if you just focus on your feelings to understand, well, what's happening here? Why am I being attacked by this person? But if you're able to have a bird's eye view, not just of your own life, not of your immediate community, but of the planet and the history of the planet. Oftentimes, people in the Black community, they see the greatest evil as the triangular trade. That's the enslavement of Africans. They think that prior to that, their lives in Africa were trouble-free. But the only reason why they think that is because they haven't done much reading. Because even prior to the triangular trade, prior to that, every country within Africa has history. And within those countries, there is war, there is bad mind, there is jealousy, there is deception, pre-Bible, throughout the, you know, pre-dynastic, throughout the dynasties. And so this is really important when it comes to Afua Rose, when it comes to coping skills, because I also want to speak to the hearts of people who have been attacked by Afua, just to know, hey, this is part of life. Okay, you have negative forces, you have positive forces. That's why I said I don't mind what the name of her negative force is. I don't care what club she's a part of or not a part of. She has bastardized something that could be prolific to raise awareness for women, but instead she has allowed her lower self, her lower energies to embody her movement. And that's the reason why someone like me, who is actually pro-woman, do you know what I'm saying, could have made so much content about her. She's troubling to the mind, she's troubling to the heart. I have heard many women specifically, cry about Afua. They've cried to me. They've cried like on the phone or in voice notes. You mention her name, they have to go and do something drastic because she disturbs the spirit. And that which disturbs the spirit and that which disturbs the mind is not good, but a daughter of sinister forces on this planet. So I just wanted to add that in so you have the context, of where this video was coming from, what I had mentioned prior to this, whose name I mentioned. You have to go and check the Please Don't Call Me Sis playlist. I've also done a separate playlist on Afua Rose. I don't think I've added all of the videos in, but most of them are there, so you can check for yourself and you can see the damage that Afua has intentionally tried to act upon people who are not being accused of assault. Okay, it's not even like I'm being accused of assault, much less those people who were accused who were actually innocent. I reached out to the biggest YouTuber that I knew at the time, someone with over 1 million followers. I reached out to her on Instagram to ask her to say, because I'd heard her speaking about her experience of an assault. So I reached out to say, I would like to do a video where I'm speaking about someone in that way, but I don't want the video to come down. How do I go about it? But obviously, she's a big celebrity. She didn't get back to me. So when I heard about Afua, I thought, great. I looked at her content. I said, okay, her videos are there. Clearly, I can ask her. So I reach out to her on Instagram and she calls me. We speak briefly. She explains what she does. I explain what my situation is. I tell her that I'm going to put a documentary out. I've been running this campaign. People are coming forward, but I haven't actually said what's really going to be said in the documentary. But I told her what was going on, the whole story. But I just let her know publicly. I haven't divulged the information yet. I've just said, I know this guy is this. Several women have come forward and said they've been assaulted and affected. I'm now going to create a body of work to present this information to the public, but I don't want my work to be taken down. Do you get what I'm saying? So how do I go about it? Because I see you have a platform that covers that sort of thing. And she said, yeah, that, you know what, there's no set rule. It's just the luck of the draw. Some get taken down, some don't. You just have to do it and see what happens. Just so you know, I've got a whole dress on. I just realized, hold on a minute. Yeah. So I said, okay, thank you so much. And that was to be the end of the conversation. And then she said to me, oh, but would you like to come onto my platform and speak about it? And I declined because I said, look, I'm going to share this in documentary form on my platform. I don't want to do lives. At this point, as you can see from the videos I've shared before, I've been doing lives for about 6-7 years. So I was on a stage for about the last 2-3 years. I slowed that down. I haven't been doing lives. I was over it. So I have a page. At the time, my Facebook page had like 8,000 followers, and all the other pages have like 2,000. So I'm already knowing that my audience is bigger than Afua's audience. And if I don't want to go live on my own platforms, why do I want to go live on somebody else's platform? Do you get what I'm saying? So I was like, no, I really want to tell the stories in the proper way. I don't want to just go live and talk about it. That's not where I'm at. I'm a creative. That's why me doing this live is important, because I'm not, I have to push myself to do any kind of live, but this kind of live, trust me, big push. And I will reiterate that point. So if you even check this YouTube, it's not a live platform. I don't go live. I sit down, I think, I write, I create content. I've literally just started doing videos where I'm not writing what my thoughts are, but I'm speaking directly to the camera. I don't have a history of going live on this platform. And it's not because I'm not capable of it. It's almost like, I just wasn't interested in it anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I have been getting prompts, like as this YouTube has been growing, I've been getting prompts from YouTube saying, you should go live, try this vertical thing, like how I came live the other day. And I was like, oh God, I don't really want to go live. But I must say, since I've been doing these lives, because obviously I'm not here to chat foolishness. So one way or another, I feel like it's been quite helpful. I feel like it cuts down my production time, because I have spent hours upon hours upon hours, creating content. So even though I look forward to going back to creating some more documentaries, I feel like the lives are easier. And I realize that's why Afua takes the mic, how she takes the mic. She doesn't have to do any pre-production. All she has to do is to talk to whoever she wants to talk to. She doesn't always do her research. She often says she's too busy to do her research. And then when she's ready on a Friday, she just goes on her platform and chats off her mouth. Do you understand? There's nothing that she's doing that even implies that she is this creative. She says she's a singer. She says she's an actor. She says she's a poet. Do you understand what I'm saying? But when I observe her platform, even the way she's presenting her work, there's nothing creative about it. So I just wanted to say that. The reason why I didn't do a documentary is this doesn't give me the energy that I need to get a documentary completed. It's just not of the caliber of a subject that can go into a documentary at this stage. Cool. So then she said, okay, she understands that, why don't I come onto her platform and just simply speak about the fact that I'm putting out a documentary? Do you get what I'm saying? And that way, some of her viewers can come and watch my documentary. So that seemed agreeable enough to me because I wasn't compromising my boundaries or standards. And so we announced that I was going to do a live with her. And so I went on her YouTube platform to do a live. And within the first 2 minutes of introducing me, Afua divulged to her audience the things that I said to her were not known to my audience and were not to be revealed until my documentary was out. So basically, what that was is that this documentary was going to be initially based on my own experience. The reason why I knew that that guy was an assaulter because many, many, many years ago, he had assaulted me. But I hadn't divulged that to anyone. I just put a post out and asked if any other woman had been affected to come forward, and many did. And I told her, she knew all of this. And yeah, the first thing she did when she went on her platform was, it was about you. And I said, no, because immediately I'm like, what is she doing? Is she crazy? So I said, no, it's not about me. I haven't and I literally pushed it back and refused to make her be who she's turned out to be, which is like, what do you call it? Clout chaser. She's someone who's looking for hits. People come and hit this video. She sensationalizes things in an area that is so delicate. It should be handled so delicately. The assault of men or women is something that should be handled at all time with a high level of decorum and grace. But within the 2 minutes of me being on her platform, she did that. And the truth is, I thought maybe she just didn't remember because I gave her the benefit of the doubt. And that was my downfall, because what I should have done from that point is I should have never spoken to her again. I should have just kept things diplomatic. If I had literally clocked her and said, you did that intentionally, as opposed to it was a little slip up, she's an elder, sometimes they don't remember things. So that's what I was thinking. That's the benefit of the doubt. I would have never continued, because she showed me in that first moment exactly what kind of vulturous energy she was coming with. But it was me who decided to dress it in the grace that I have, not the grace that she has. So we did the interview. After I said, no, pull that back. I didn't say that. I had to even be fake on the live and say, I didn't say that. I said it was about, I haven't revealed any information, whatever. Did the interview, finished the interview, went on, started my series. I put my documentaries out. I put I put like 4, and then I put the ones about the assaults out, and everything went exceedingly well. And more people came and gave more information. And now I've got one more documentary that's coming out this year. I'm only doing one documentary this year that I'm going to sit and do, which is the completion documentary to the Life After Death series, right? Cool. Everything went fine. Now I noticed that Afua, she invited me a few times whenever she was going live. She does a weekly live. She asked me to come on. Now, remember, as I said, I have a platform that's bigger than you. I'm not doing lives. I don't really want to come and do lives. So initially, just out of respect and to show some comradeship, sisterhood, I went and did some lives. But it's not really my essence. So after a while, she kept on asking me, can you come on this march? Can you come to this police station? And I explained to her, my activism isn't pounding pavement. Like, I try not to pound pavement as much as possible. My activism takes place in providing healing, wellness support for people. So regenerating, helping people to regenerate where things have come out of alignment. But it also takes place through my creativity, through my music, through my writing, through my documentaries. I don't really feel like I need to go and pound pavement. So I said, I can't do those kind of things. And I didn't know at the time, but this didn't sit well with her, because her character has revealed itself to be someone that's trying to just recruit. She doesn't see the value in each individual around her and have the ability to meet that person where they are and to work with them as best as works in that unique situation. She's literally trying to recruit foot soldiers, but any leader should know not everyone's a foot soldier. Sometimes someone could be an advisor. And I did, because I have a social media background, initially attempt to give her some advice about how she could professionalize her content, her videos, in addition to her social media pages. I said, even if you just post a post in the morning and say, good morning, everyone. You know, I said, like, there's a way that you can have this campaign, but it doesn't have to be that once someone comes across your content, they're just feeling down, because that's all you're offering. You're not even offering continuous appreciation posts to keep the vibe up. And I explained a few things to her. I even said to her, you've got this slogan, his time is up. Why don't you launch a t-shirt campaign? I explained to her that my daughter and myself, we ran a t-shirt campaign in order to raise funds to publish our books. Okay. So I said, I've got lots of experience running t-shirt campaigns. Why don't we do a campaign? She said, no. We're going to do that in October, because she has an annual march. She's had it twice now. She said she was going to do it towards the end of the year. This is June, right? Last year. I said, okay. The next time when I watched her live, she was advertising t-shirts. I was like, oh my God, I'm glad you took the idea. And I thought, that shows a lack of character, because I come to you with an idea. You say to me, no, I'm going to do that for my march. We'll wait until then. And then you run ahead and do it. And then the next week you're advertising it. And I'm not supposed to see that. But still, because obviously I don't want nothing from anyone, I just carried on doing what I was doing. And every now and then we would talk on the phone. That's it. I hadn't met her in person. I'd done the interview where I spoke about my documentary, and I also came on a few of her lives to show some support. Okay? Cool. Saw she was having a march. I said, let me share the video. I even made her a video with some Fela Kuti music. And then they put out a video with Dotty Man by Romain Virgo. And I shared it on all my pages, because I felt that's the way I'll contribute. I have a big audience. I might not come. My intention was never to go to the march. I was asked by a personal acquaintance, was I going? And I explained that I don't really resonate with marches, and oftentimes the energies of people at marches is totally against how I like to vibe. And it also attracts the most corrupt, power-hungry people, those kind of groups. So I had no intention of going. So those corrupt, power-hungry people, that's who Afua is. And as you can see at this stage, I've had 2 reasons to look at Afua differently. Okay? I've told her something confidential. I've explained this is actually exclusive to my documentary. And when I go into the interview with her, she attempts to reveal it. I give her an idea and I ask her, does she want to do a t-shirt campaign with me? She says, no. We have t-shirts coming up for the His Time Is Up March. And that was like early on in the year. So this was like May, June. And yet the very next week, she had t-shirts on her platform. But you see the thing about creativity, and that's why over the years, I've had a few incidents with people replicating my work, like Sarjo, who I made a video about, like literally just stealing my work, reframing it and offering it to the public like it's their own work. The thing about creativity is, if you didn't create something, you will never have the fuel to do it like the person who created it. And for that reason, when it came to Afua Rose's march, she didn't have not one t-shirt, no t-shirt. She had nothing on sale. She had no way for people to support her apart from walking around with some yellow buckets that I've mentioned before, the charity buckets, even though she's not a charity. And people were just donating money, and she has not been held accountable for any money that she has made. She hasn't done any taxes, and she dissolved the company. So no one really knows, where that money has actually gone. So when you're not truly a creative and you seek to steal other people's ideas, essentially it will never work out for you. And then a few days before the march, Afua contacted me and asked me if I would sing, because someone had sang the year before. And since I was one of the ladies to come and talk about, I had a story to tell. Obviously, I never told my story on her platform. I never asked to go on her platform. I didn't want to go on her platform, nor did I need to go on her platform, because I've always had my own platform. But sometimes people, they're so self-involved, they don't take the time to look out. And I just, no matter what, I'll have this sisterhood. I thought, okay, there are all these women on the platform. I can go and sing a couple songs. That's not a big thing. Didn't really want to go, you know, but I'm like, oh God, it's like you've been called, you know. So I said, okay, all right then. Let the chips fall where they may. Next big mistake. The reason how I know it's a big mistake is because earlier in the year, and I have to say this because I'm addressing a major issue by speaking about Afua Rose, and what the issue is Afua Rose is my third. Is she 3? No, Bayosha's 3. She's my 4th official troll. She's a super troll. She's a dangerous person, and she is the true catalyst for me creating this entire video. Not a mentee who, I must say, it pained me to have to go and dig up the video from 2020 with a mentee, because that's done. So I want to say that's even why this is taking so long. It made me very uncomfortable. I let sleeping dogs lie. I want everyone else to do the same. But when you're there stepping in my face and jerking me in my back, you can't tell me how to react. Aisha, same thing. She was a troll. I went to the police. They approached her. She stopped misbehaving. Let sleeping dogs lie. I've never mentioned Aisha again. I cannot. Don't care. Doesn't exist to me. Truthfully. Bayush and myself. Oh, I'll come back to Bayush when I go into Afua. I didn't explain why Bayush lost her mind and became my other troll. Yeah? Afua, you did bad. You're a troll. Afua is a troll masquerading as a campaigner, an activist for women's rights and safety. And yet, the woman that she invites on her platform to talk about a documentary she's making is the same woman who she then turns around on to totally slander, degrade, and defame on a platform that supposedly has been created solely for exposing predators who assault women, men, and children. She's so off brand because the truth of her character, which is this thirst that she has, this hunger for power and recognition, is her true desire, not the justice of women. Because I can see, and everyone who follows her knows, I am not the first person. No. If I was the first person, I'd have to check myself. She's done this on several occasions. She's done this as a grandmother. She's an elder who has failed to grow up. She is younger in her mind than a lot of women I know in their 30s, 20s, and 40s. Her conduct evinces her true level of maturity and her true integrity and character. Your conduct, the way you conduct yourself. As I said before, anyone can jump up with an airy fairy title. I am this, I'm a healer, I'm a channeler, I'm a defender of women. You can't be a defender of women and constantly attack women. You cannot. I love that. I actually can feel it for myself watching that video, because I can see that I'm dead tired at this stage, like the 6th hour of the video. I know that it took a lot of thought for me to even agree with myself, you know, to make the video. And I can see in the video that I'm still shocked. I'm shocked at Afua. I'm still like, whoa. But also I'm shocked at the inability of those who are perceiving her to discern through the mask, through the facade, And for me, that is ignorance. That's just a lack of intelligence. Do you know what I mean? I also like where I say, you can't tell people how to respond to you attacking them. When I was a child, sometimes I had a brother, he's 4 years older than me, right? So I would go and slap him, children messing around. And he would just give me one bitch lick. And I would go to my mom and say, Mom, he did this. And when she would go through, well, what happened? She always used to say to me, look, Linnea, you cannot tell people how to respond. So even if you go and tap someone on their shoulder, you've actually given them the license to box you down. So be careful what you do, because you cannot control. You can control you, but you can't control how people respond to you. And that's what I would say for Afua's followers, essentially. If you don't want people, since it clearly upsets you, it gets you going, it triggers you, someone speaking about your leader, do you get what I'm saying? Leader of the goat cult. If you don't like people speaking up and actually exercising their human rights, talk to your leader about her conduct, because her mouth may be big, but it's not big enough to prevent people from responding to her. And the reason why she got arrested is because she was being responded to. The reason why she was in court for defamation last week, why? Responding to. The reason why she has court on June 16th, which someone told me today, why? She is being responded to. So in this planet, in life, people can do whatever they want to do, you understand? But just make sure to say, no, you do not control the responses of others. And if you think you do, that means you're a bully. And every bully will have their day. Every bully will have someone that says, actually, no, I'm not going to accept that. Be a defender of women, create spaces for women that's supposed to be safe spaces, and then you yourself try to bring your whole audience to attack and vilify those same women. So what Afua did is that before this march happened, she had been, now check the mentals. The woman's 53. She got 4 to 5 children, at least 3 grandchildren. Her last child is about 11, 12, 13, and is still in school. This is what she did. She's had 2 significant relationships, the fathers of these children. And the last one, she's not happy with how his conduct is. He's not being a good father in her eyes. So for months, maybe even a year, I'm not sure, but at least for months, she reaches out to the father of her last child, pretending to be another woman. She pretends to have met him somewhere else in another country. Seriously, this is who we're talking about. And she builds up a rapport with him with the intention that at some point she's going to set him up, she's going to meet him, and she's going to film it and then put it on the internet and show everyone. When she first told me, because I know that everybody is different, and I understand that. That's not my style. Just so you know, that's not my style. That whole meeting people in public, shaming them up, putting the video on, letting it go viral, that's not my style, okay? Right. So initially, I just still show compassion. I didn't go into judgment. Okay, I understand. But I still understand, even though it's not my style. I can understand why mothers who aren't getting the right support from the fathers of their children with modern day technology may decide, you know what, I'm just going to blast you and put you on. I understand it. Still not my style. So initially, I'd spoken to her because I am a professional actress. And we discussed, well, you should probably get an actress so you can film it and have some cheerleaders. But then after I realized I'm a creative, yeah. So if you tell me anything, I can see all the curtains, the stage lights, But I realized, no, I can't do that. So I bowed out. So she continued because it was a plan that she had in motion for months anyway. And she met the man. She chased him in West London, chased him in a park. He was riding away. She was shouting, "You waste man! You," all of that, you know. She was cussing off the man, and the man run away, and her security guard is running after her. She filmed it. She put it online. It went viral. Boy, all I know is, so just because something goes viral does not mean it's good, because a lot of people did not like that, whether they expressed it or not. And it was like, wow, this is innovative, this is new, this is 2022, but boy, that couldn't be me. You know, that kind of thing. That couldn't be me. And a lot of the women who past 20s, they weren't in conversations, they weren't feeling that. Cool. So I realized that she's not stable. I spoke to her a few times and said, you're fighting this issue against women being assaulted, but your wound is actually what's happening with you and your child. And as much as you're pursuing that guy and doing that, you're not at peace, you're not at ease. So you need to focus on you and your daughter, because how do you think that made your daughter feel, this viral video of her mother running after her father, that even probably her school friends saw? You know, what is this? There's some residue, whether she was in agreement or not. I said, you need peace. I said, one thing about being a warrior, and I've learned this through yoga, because the path of yoga can be the path of a warrior. That's one of the paths. And one thing about being a warrior is you have to have your peace. You will see this in martial arts videos as well. You can't just be out there fighting, and not have your center. For me, I can only fight when I have my center. Then I can fight. But this whole thing of fighting all the time, warring all the time, but you don't have your center. You don't even have a real reason why you're fighting. You're fighting out of some emotional reaction instead of coming from a place of wisdom and knowing this is a divine fight that should be, you know, you will do damage to yourself and you'll do damage to other people around you. And this is what I saw happening with her. So much so. And this is what is still happening with her. And I like that I've said this and I've touched on this, because essentially the reason why Afua doesn't care about providing any sort of platform to facilitate healing in all of these survivors, I don't even want to call them victims, all of the survivors that have come to her, the reason why she doesn't care about the healing part is because she doesn't know the power of healing. And what evinces the fact that she doesn't know the power of healing is that her behavior in this instance of the running down the baby father, whatever, it clearly demonstrates that she herself hasn't healed, which makes you wonder again, did she really do a psychotherapy degree? Was Claire Kennedy correct? The Instagram page, was she correct in contacting the school where Afua claims to have studied and getting verification that the degree that Afua claims to have doesn't even exist? Of course she was correct, because Afua's behavior, her personal behavior, this is between her child, and the child's father. But she didn't do it for her, the child, and the child's father. She actually did it for the wider audience, for everyone online who would laugh and ha 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 ha. And when she actually got arrested for that and had to go to court, she didn't share that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So she pretends like she's transparent, but she's only transparent about the war. What about the healing? What about your platform and you saying, you know, I've had some experiences from when I was a child, and this is how I dealt with them? Because that's why I started my channel. It wasn't essentially just to speak about trauma. It's to say, okay, here are the traumas, and this is how I've actually healed. And I created my platform after I'd done years in healing work. And that's why it was effective, you know? And I'm not saying that if you're the victim of something, you can't speak up prior to being healed. But if healing isn't your focus, then what's going on? How can you actually have a platform where people who are vulnerable, who've been assaulted, who've been violated, who've experienced violence, you don't even have an email that you send them after they speak to you to say, Thank you for, sharing your story. Here are some links. I'd like to refer these people. I'd like to refer this therapist or this trauma counselor or this healer. You don't have no responsibility. You take no responsibility for re-traumatizing. And you know that even though that person came the one time or the two times, that video will stay online until you choose to take it down. So where is your social responsibility? Where is the professional responsibility? If I would go as far as to say that if Afua had any form of ethical responsibility towards anyone who's come on her platform, she would have known that she shouldn't have come for me in any way. But she didn't see me anymore as a survivor. She didn't see me that way. Even though I'd done nothing to her, she saw me as someone who she could get more views by trying to attack. She wanted to, bring me down. And why is that? Because Afua is jealous. And you know what you're jealous of? Yeah, because I know she's watching. She's jealous of my healing. If I hadn't taken the time to heal from various traumas that I've experienced, I would be like Afua. I would be vile. I would be angry. I would have no boundaries. I would treat anyone any kind of way. I would have no true loyalty to sisters and to sisterhood. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I would probably be a woman like her saying, I don't have female friends because I wouldn't have found the value in women. That shows that she hasn't found the value in her own womanhood, much less in other people. So I just want to check the comments. Hey, Lacey, how are you doing? Lacey says, hi, sis. Sully, welcome. Sully says, Afua has had numerous people give LB's name as a predator, but has said nothing because she can't, because she has a mob mentality. And once you're in her mob, by default, you will get protection because she becomes weaker if anyone from her mob is removed. I'm not shocked, Sully again. I saw straight through it from the beginning. I knew this had nothing to do with Vincent or Afua. It's all about a bigger beef, which started in 1993. 1993! I swear, I was a kid. I was just born. What kind of incident? You have to tell me what that incident is because, bruh, that's a long time. Kerry, she a fraud. Her energy is BL or is it BS? She's a fraud. She's a fraud. The thing is, I don't share as much about myself as people think I do. I have gone through so many different schools, okay? Academic schools, spiritual schools, mystery schools, healing schools. I know from the bat, if you put people in a vulnerable space, if you have a platform where you're asking people to share such personal stories, what could be more personal than a story about being assaulted? What the frig? And you as a psychotherapist, or maybe it's just a psycho because she clearly needs the therapist part. I see the psycho part, but I don't see the therapy. How can you, even if you're not a psychotherapist, this is the other thing, even if you're not a psychotherapist, how do you then dismiss that person's future? You don't even create a booklet. Afua could have put out a book. I recommend, if you see Afua putting out a book, you can tell her it's my idea. Drop a book. Drop a book about how to deal with trauma and bring it into your platform. So you're not just taking, but you actually give back. What kind of parasitical leech-like movement is that? You can't tell me that you don't need to have any qualifications to write a book. In fact, these days you can go to AI and get AI to write the book for you, and you just edit it and add in your own personal experiences. You know that, right? Yeah, AI will write books for you. It takes nothing to publish a book. It takes nothing to publish a book. I could publish a book about Afua and all the experiences. In fact, because most of my videos, especially the trauma pimp video, is scripted, I already considered I might just flip this and put out a book. But if I put out a book, it has to help people, okay? And we all know that going on a YouTube channel and calling out your accuser, yes, it may take some stress off your back, but does it heal you? No, it does not. I can categorically say that. That could not completely heal you. Why? Because most of your healing focus is to do with your mind and your body. Where in your body are you storing trauma? How is it showing up in your personality? What is it stopping you from doing or embracing in life? Are you at peace? So when it comes to Afua's followers, they are not at peace. And like attracts like, she attracts people who are similar to herself who haven't found peace. She also attracts people who are immoral because they have no issues with her immorality. And this is dangerous. And this is why something that could have been so powerful has turned up being like a turd. Excuse me. Excuse me for saying that. But yeah, it's some BS.
So I don't know if it was before the march or after the march. I can't remember. But around the winter time, someone contacted me and said, Afua was online sending a message on a video that you need to reach out. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what on earth happened? Because we're not friends. I never met you. If I have met you, I've met you once at the march. So if you make a video and something's happened and you're saying, tell Linnea to reach out, I'm going to think, oh my gosh, it must be serious. So I went and I looked on her Instagram and she had left a video saying that she'd been arrested and the police had taken her phone and she needs Afro Belly. That's the name of my platform. And the Pussycat, the killer Pussycat. Who we're not going to mention because I know he's dying for some chat, and yeah, we don't entertain certain energies here beyond necessary, that we need to reach out. So I thought, my gosh, it must be an emergency. So me, like one idiot, now go message the woman and say, hi, I hope everything's okay. Are you safe? Here's my number. Reach out to me. That old 3 weeks passed. I didn't hear from Afua, and that's when I realized she is just a contortionist. She's just a hype queen. Why did she do that? If you don't need my number enough to take it and contact me, why after you've been arrested, unless you're an informant, unless you're an informant, why are you going onto a social media platform and calling my name? You're not calling your family's name. You're not calling your best friend's name. You're not calling the people that's been supporting you for the past year. You're calling me that you just met a few months ago. And another red flag. So all that, I was like, no, I'm not going to the march. Okay?
Bear in mind, even though I'm saying you're calling me that you've just met, I had never met her. I've seen her once in person, and that was at her march. So that even now, when I reflect upon that, I'm like, why did she do that? And I have many ways of looking at it. The police had her phone. She didn't have anyone's numbers. She was arrested. At this point, she was actually arrested for what she had done to her own child's father. But she was happy to give the impression to the audience that it was some freedom fighting, some women's rights. That's what had caused her to be arrested. And to this day, I haven't figured out what was behind that, but I still find it very suspicious. And if I am on your top two people, you have two people that you go online and say, please contact me, when you're arrested, clearly you placed some value on me. So why is it that when I moved away from your I was going to say crackhead organization, but I already said it. But why is it when I move away from your dishevelment of an organization that you now want to attack me? That is proof that at some point, Afua placed value upon me. And when I pulled away myself, she then had an issue with me. That is also proof that she wants to control people. She wants to control people. She doesn't want to support people. She doesn't want to elevate survivors. She wants to control them, which is a damn shame because I am not the one.
I spoke to her a few weeks after the arrest, and she explained to me that she didn't divulge on her platform. People thought that she was arrested because of the claims, because obviously she makes a lot of claims and she does get defamation suits and stuff like that. So people thought that she was arrested October, November, them time there, because of the defamation. But what had happened is, because she had run down the road and set up her daughter's father and harassed him and pretended to be someone else, he had taken her to court to get some type of restricting order, a few things, and she was really cut up about it. And when I spoke to her after the 3 weeks that she took to contact me after all the hype, when she could have just DM'd me, hype, fake, contortionist, when I phoned her, I could tell she was quite sad and she cried on the phone. And I said to her, Afua, I told you, you need the healing. You need healing. Now, you don't have to take no healing that I'm offering or that anyone I know, but you said that because I forgot to mention that she is a convicted criminal. And I didn't know this when I first went on her platform. I had no idea because I'd never heard about her. So I just thought that she said she's a psychologist. Okay, so to me, that's healing work. So I thought she's a psychologist. It's like corporate mental health healing work. And she's now a defender of women's rights. But nowhere in the middle did she tell me that she had done time in prison for being a mule. You know what a mule is, right? Mm-hmm. See, never said so many things, never said that. So she told me that after she had gone through her prison sentence, she went to the church and joined a school that you would study for a while, then you could get baptized, because she felt like, she wanted to take off some bad energy and get right and stuff. So I said to her, remember you were baptized in this church that you believe in, right? Why don't you go and develop your faith? You need to do what works for you, because I believe in that. We're not all here to do the same thing. What kind of boring world is that? So whatever your thing is, whether you're spiritual, you might even be atheist, doesn't matter what it is. Everyone's got a thing that they know that will regenerate their being, that will bring them into wellness. You understand? So I'm like, clearly you've gone and baptized, so your thing is the church. Ooh, why don't you go and deepen your faith, work on your spirituality, because you need healing, because you run down the man. Now the video went viral. Now the man's taking you to court. Now you want to go and say, so she wanted to go and say that she wanted to bring up dirt, basically, I can't bother with all that stuff, from the past and bring new lawsuits for stuff that happened years ago. And I was saying, please, like, don't do it. And I had said that to her before. Don't do it, please, don't do it. Just hold out. Don't. I just want to stick a pin here because this touches my heart, because I know that I always want the best for people. Yet Afua is an elder to me, and I genuinely feel like she should have been the person telling me the good things in life. Do you understand what I'm saying? But instead, I am constantly trying to give Afua advice because I'm a healer. So essentially, I'm not going to run into her negative energy and say, yeah, bun that man. I'm not going to do that. And I think that is also part of the reason why she took issue with me, because I am not susceptible to the energies of other people, meaning you can't draw me into your energy. If I think that what you're doing is wrong, even as a sistren, do you understand? I'm going to say, hey, sis, I don't think you should really do that. And 9 times out of 10, when I tell people things like that, if they keep doing what I told them not to do, they pay the price. And that's not a psychic thing. It's just logic, right? If you see someone going the wrong way. So what kind of people do you want around you? Do you want those yes men? Because clearly that's who Afua wants. She wants people essentially who don't question her, who don't try and put her in the right direction. And I feel that watching, because I even forgot this, like watching this back, I'm like, look at the good, blessed energy you were given to this troll, to this trauma pimp. That's why you can't help certain people. She had a devilish energy. This was something that she wanted to share within her own family unit and then take it online and go further. And at every step, I always try and pull her back and say, hey, I've just met her a few months, but I realized something. The way how I can be quite open-minded about her spiritual beliefs and her religion, I did not experience that with her. So when I told her that I am someone who doesn't really subscribe to Western traditions, I don't even subscribe to religions point blank, and that I have spent years
exploring different paths, you know, from personal healing, traditional healing, astrological healing. She was so negative about it to the point that I realized she doesn't have any, it's not tact. It's not tact. It's like if you meet someone and they have a total different paradigm or they look at life totally different to you, you don't then become obnoxious and like, you know, you don't demean them. But she doesn't have the ability, like I have the ability. I have friends of many different walks of life. I don't need my friends to have the same spiritual basis or belief systems or the same even approach to life that I do. That's not what I seek out in another person. Do you understand what I'm saying? I am actually able to really respect the choices that people make for themselves. But Afua, to show that she does just want followers, she just wants them to all be in this cult-like mentality. They all think the same things. They all believe the same things. And that's dangerous. And you can't really approach women's rights from that space because every woman has a different way of looking at life. Some people don't even believe in a creator, and that's their right. Like, who is someone to kind of dictate their views to other people? And what I found is funny is, as much as she was saying, oh, she doesn't believe in this, she doesn't believe in that, she believes in the Hebrew Israelites and rare. I thought, well, that's funny because look at what you're going through. How is your belief system actually having your back? Your belief system is clearly not leading you towards healing. It's not leading you towards peace. It's not making you accept something that's happened years ago with the father of your child. You've already had like a bag of children. This is your last child. You called her miracle because you had her later in life, and you still cannot accept your life. You cannot accept that even your child's father, you can't force him to do things the way how, you know, it's just crazy. She can't force the father to do things the way how she wants him to do. And she is basically pushing her own opinions, pushing her own belief systems that are unable to protect and contain her. They are unable to make sure that she comes from a place of ethics. The number one rule in all religions is morals. But yet she takes on belief systems, she attacks the beliefs or the life practices, the spiritual past, whatever it is, of other people. And yet she herself is not protected by what she believes in. That is cognitive dissonance. Because remember, I am going to do a video about Afua Rose has cognitive dissonance. This is an example of it. This is an example of it. When I'm going through my things here, I have spiritual practices that I do. One of them is prayer. Another is meditation. I have various things, even just walking in nature. That is a spiritual self-healing practice that keeps my mind easy. I have many reasons to lose my cool from one day to the other. This thing even that happened with Afua, if I was Afua and she was experiencing what I was doing, she could not have peace. You understand what I'm saying? And I respect that everyone has their own way of finding peace. But this is the reason why her platform is so toxic. There is nothing on the platform to do with peace. There is nothing on the platform to do with healing, well-being, wellness. It is very divisive. Do you understand? It's very divisive. Like, you have to believe what I believe, or you're like, what's the word? You're inferior to me. You're inferior to me. And that for me is that's very, very religious. You get what I'm saying? That's a religious thing. Like if a Christian was saying, well, every religion apart from mine, if you're not in Christianity, you'll never go to heaven. It's religion. It's religious, it's divisive, it's negative, and it's destructive. And it's not something that you would expect to experience in someone who claims to have studied what she studied. Because psychotherapy isn't actually about religious choices. And psychotherapy is definitely about problem solving when it comes to mental health. So when she found herself in distress about the father of her child, why couldn't she self-heal? Why couldn't she use the tools that she claims to have to self-heal? And I'd put it to you, because she doesn't have those tools. She doesn't have those tools.
Do it. Do you understand? Then she had another charge pressed on her by this man. And then she told me that that's when she decided that she was going to become an informant. and her daughter's father and the family, of which there's a celebrity in the family, a UK hip-hop grime type of celebrity. She told the police all of their secrets. And that's when I realized this woman is dread. And on top of that, when I said to her, why don't you go and explore your faith? You said that you baptized because you wanted that blessing, etc. She told me she don't really believe in the church. She just did it to get some clearing. Now, when I told my friend this story, after Afua started her trolling campaign, her crazy, obsessive trolling campaign against me, my friend said that means that Afua admitted to you that she is a demon, because she's saying that she went and she lied to the priest, to the people in that church. She pretended that that was her faith system just so she could get some type of spiritual healing, but she had no intention. She made commitments to those deities, to that belief system, when she knew she was faking out the whole system. So if she's going to fake out that God in her eyes, who are you? I said, Jesus, please.
And that is a great point, because if she doesn't really believe in what she's actually doing when it comes to spiritual path, religious application, then how could she judge someone else? That speaks to someone being very vacuous. You don't really believe in nothing. If you don't believe in nothing, just say. There's nothing wrong with that. There are many people on this planet that are neither here nor there. But we have this kind of thing, I think, within the Black communities that I've experienced in the UK, even more so than in Jamaica, where we all have to be the same. And if we don't all believe the same things, then it's almost dangerous, because we're so quick to ostracize and to attack people who don't believe. Remember, we're talking about beliefs, beliefs, choices. I choose to follow this path. That's why I deal with healing tools, and truth and information is a major healing tool. Learning about patriarchy for me has been imagine there's a big mountain, it's just full of stone, and learning about patriarchy is like it just broke up all those stones. It's a healing tool. So this, to me, all of the things I'm saying explains more about the layers of Afua and her psyche, and why she doesn't really have anything positive to offer outside of calling people out, because she's not aligned with truth. Why do you want people to come and tell you their truth on your platform, when in your day-to-day life, even when you're going to a church, when you're going to a priest, a religious leader, you will lie and pretend like you're really about that, when you just want the energy that will come from this cleansing? No, sir. No, sir.
And my friend said that to me. I said, oh my God, raw, like that's so true. So her whole platform is a fake out, because she fakes out the where it matters in the divine. She's fake to the divine, much less out in person. Let's talk about the march. I go to the march. I wear all white. I usually wear all white. I don't always. Look, you like it? I don't always wear white. I recently started to buy some new colors. I've got blues, beiges, yellows, pinks. I got a mix. I wore pink the other day. I got all different colors. But my base is white. Don't need to explain that. Why do I need to explain that? It's life. It's many reasons why I wear white. It's my choice. It's my prerogative. Didn't realize it was such a big thing until this campaign started against me, and I was slated for wearing full white to a march where everyone was wearing red and black. How petty is that? Toxic femininity. You invite me to come to your march. It's not a booked gig. You can't even afford me. You can't afford me. I decided to come and to support your march after promoting it online for you for free, after supporting you and doing this and doing that, okay? Giving you all this advice, how to develop your brand. But that Jamaican Caribbean crab in a barrel, toxic femininity couldn't be sated. It wanted more. Give me more. She explained to me prior to the event, the theme was red and black. I explained to her, I don't own any red and any black, and I can't wear those colors. So is it okay if I wear white? Because that's what I've got. I'm not buying clothes for your event. Like, and I'm not wearing red and black because you want me to wear it, because I don't wear red and black. And I didn't realize that we live in a society where people think that, you know, you can tell a grown woman, you know, what colors to wear or not wear. And I had no idea it was an issue because she didn't say anything. But she started this troll storm, which we're going to get to, and she put out some dangerous content about.
This is further proof that Afua is developing a cult with a cult-like mentality. This about the clothes, it seems so petty. Even hearing myself, I'm like, oh gosh, this is so ridiculous. But it shows that there is a cult with a cult-like mentality. It also shows a vampirous, advantageous kind of energy. I'm doing you a solid. Me is the one who is helping you. You not help me. Me left my yard to come help you and come sing at your event because she was like, oh, last year we had a lady, she sang and it was so good. And I was just wondering if you could come and sing. She didn't tell me that she tried to book other artists and she was declined. I learned this way after the fact. You get what I'm saying? When she started to troll me, people started to come to me and tell me some other stuff. Some other stuff that people have shared with me. Even till today, I haven't even shared it. Because that's my power. I don't have logorrhea. I don't have to chat everything that's in my mind. And I came, I performed. As far as I'm concerned, if I hadn't performed, that event would have been as dead as lead. Do you understand what I'm saying? It lifted people's spirits. Women sang along. While I was performing, that man, Milton McGowan, he got arrested, which is another thing. I'll touch on that later on, because after the event, even though he was arrested at her event, she was clearly still in communication with him, because she asked me, which she had done several times, if I would come on her live stream and talk with the man. And I was like, well, why? I said, only if you pay me, Afua. You would have to pay me for that. I am busy. I can't keep coming on your live for every little thing. What I didn't realize is she was trying to set me up with this man. Because this man, he has his own views. He was her troll. And the minute he saw me come on her platform, then he became my troll. He was on all my pages. He was chatting ish about me. He was, you know, just, and the thing is, I just want to clarify, something that he said about me isn't actually untrue. There's one thing that he said, it is true. And one day, while these lives are going on, or during this live, I will address what it is, because, yeah, I'll just say it now. So he said that I took a computer from someone, and I did. Come, is a bad man. Yeah. Because coming up as a singer in London, as a musician, as a creative, being very much interested in Black empowerment and community building, I came across many groups who tried to take advantage of me. They tried to take advantage of my innocence, of my naivety, of my desire to impact change. Yeah. And during that journey, certain people who did take the absolute mick, I did some things to say, well, you've used me this amount, this is how I'm going to respond. But there were lots of things he was saying, like a list of things. She was saying, oh, he's ranting on his Facebook about you. Will you come on the live? And I was thinking, you're so corrupt. Afua, this man's just been arrested at your march. Why do you want me to come on your platform post-march and talk to this guy? This is Milton McGowan. This is someone that Afua said she did her research and she found out that he was a real PIMP, a real pimp, not a trauma pimp, but he used to sell women down at King's Cross. So why does Afua want me to come and talk live with this man? This is my proof. I don't think Afua is clout chasing. I don't think Afua is running her platform for views. Obviously, everyone wants views, but in terms of clickbait and passa, this is someone that probably, if she was in Jamaica, she'd be the woman. I don't even want to, you know what? I can't even disrespect any kind of woman in Jamaica. I realized what I was about to say. She is Malta Massiliza. She's just walking and gossiping and chatting, and now she wants to get paid for it, especially on your platform, what your platform is made for. To me, Afua is trying to go into the lane of like Tasha K. I don't know if you know Tasha K. She's a big, like, you know, gossip, news. She's quite funny. I watch her content. What I respect about her is she's not pretending to be a community activist. She's not pretending to, you know, she's real with what she's doing. And I do think There's a time and place for everything. But this crossing of lanes that Afua is doing, 1 minute you're into supporting and building up the community, but the truth is you're looking for every reason to mash down the same community that you're saying you're trying to support. It's ridiculous. So leave me out with that cult mentality.
Of which I may add, because I love myself, I didn't watch it. I haven't watched any of the slandering content, but some loved ones just came and told me a few things before I said, that's enough. Before I said, okay, that's it. I didn't watch the video for a reason. That's it. Or when they're coming to tell me what's being said on the Instagram thread, I'd be like, okay, that's it. Thanks. And that's how I got to know that a woman like myself, who has evinced her value to her community for over a decade, for over 15 years, through one, raising an astonishingly polite, courteous, respectful, and a child that contributes great value to this planet. In addition to that, in addition to just being a mum and just being a good lady, I have contributed through music, through theatre, through literature, through poetry, through yoga, through tarot, through astrology. What else? So I was shocked that someone like myself, who has actually done the work, got the stripes, and they can never be taken away, okay, could be spoken of by this lady who's a convicted mule, right? And she's proud of it. She's proud that she, as a grandmother, and she said she's some type of freedom fighter. The morals are way out for me. They don't align with mine, and that's fine, because we're not all here to mirror each other. But the work that she has done is not substantial. Yes, she does highlight and expose. But what it seems like is she's calling out a lot of men's names, saying that they're this and they're that. But she has no evidence. And I know that because of my own experience with her, because when I told her what happened to me, she didn't do any investigation. She just listened to what I said, yes, I believe you. Do you want to come and tell your story on my platform? I said, no, I can't do that. You see what I mean? So she is the judge and the jury. And since she has done these videos, many people have become very disgruntled with her, because they've realized if you're going to do 500 videos or even 250, and they're all exposing and defaming alleged, may I add, abusers of women and men and children. And these people that you're exposing are all linked to families who have children, who have to go to school. If you're not going to start to get some sentences like 10, like 20, then your work, you're just a vlogger that's chatting. If that's why I keep mentioning this is what I've done, because it's already been done. And I know that people, when you achieve, they would love, with the crab in a barrel mentality, as Afua, the perfect crab. She's born on July the 4th. In the Western astrology, she is a Cancer. She comes under crab season. So it's the perfect symbol that she represents. Instead of being the Cancerian woman that's connecting with women, connecting with emotional intelligence and empathy, so they can guide and assist people in growing, she's a crab in a barrel, not only pulling people down, but when I went to school in Jamaica, they used to say, empty barrels make the most noise. And she's the crab in the barrel that enough people jump out of that barrel a long time, and she's in the barrel making a whole bag of noise. And the reason why she cannot come out of the barrel, because there are many people that could pull her out, is because she doesn't listen. Because the whole time that I communicated with her, I realized, as an elder, I just gave her that grace. Another thing is, she has the same birthday as my mom. I know the energy. I came through the energy. I was raised by the energy. I ran away from the energy because it was toxic femininity. I ran away at 15 from my own maternal home because of that energy. And then later in my life, here comes another betrayer of women, another treacherous feminine, another woman who simply needs to heal. I don't think there's anything intrinsically wrong with Afua. even though her conduct may speak otherwise. What I do know is that when women hit 38 to 42, there's a window and they need to use it. And from then on, they need to be using that window. And what that window usually is for women is that they need to spiritualize their life. They need to bring something. It doesn't have to be religious, you know. They need to spiritualize their life. They need to process their life. They need to purge. They need to go through the healing. They need to allow the divine to bring lessons and breakthroughs that only come to women who hit certain ages. If they don't do that, they go through a defragmentation. They're unable to heal from the trauma they've already experienced. So instead of regenerating and healing and putting a balm on what is there, there is an atrophy, a breaking down, a corruption, a degradation of one's mind and spirit. And one of the things that I've noticed on my journey as a practitioner, as a professional, I've met three women who are of Caribbean background, who are psychologists. They are all significantly older than me, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years. The three women that I know that come from a psychology background, all different types of psychology professionals, they have massive detriment to their being. Something has happened that shows that the psychology that they learned missed something. It didn't cover all the bases with them as a being. So they've learned this psychology and they've spent their lives allegedly helping other people with a tool. But the tool, the system of study, the doctrine of psychology that they've learned doesn't address a certain aspect of these women. Do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't touch it. And so they cannot use the same psychology to nurture themselves and make the right decisions and to conduct themselves properly when they reach to middle age, you know, womanhood, that second womanhood. You do have a second womanhood, but you have to nourish that garden, nourish yourself in order to make it through. Because if you don't, all the stuff from the previous years is just there degrading your being. And unfortunately, because Afua hasn't taken responsibility for her healing, because she has allowed her anger to eclipse her purpose, it's okay to be angry. Like I always say, V, who's an Akashic record reader, told me years ago, you must use your anger to take care of yourself. First and foremost. She said, if you get angry, Linnea, what do? You know? I said, I usually go focus on my work. She goes, does your work take care of you? I said, yeah, well, it pays my bills. She goes, is that all? And then she said, rage is sacred. Every emotion is sacred when you channel it in the right direction, when it presents itself. When we have women's movements that are about the rights of women, and we're fighting patriarchy and we're fighting toxic femininity, we have to always seek to expose ourselves to as much healing as possible, because we can't be out on the battlefield all the time and not become corrupt. And I said this, which brings me to the next point. I said this.
I love that point. I totally love that point, because I definitely feel that women are undersold their idea of womanhood, and women are given this idea that they're only of value when they are most valuable to men, which is when they're at their younger years, which essentially is pedophilic, because that's when women know less. And because they know less, it's more easy for them to tolerate BS in relationships with men. So patriarchy has this kind of mind control, this brainwash that says when women hit middle age, they are no longer of value because they are deemed as not being as susceptible to men and their agendas. And this thing that I've said, I know that I've spoken to Afua from a loving place and said, look, when you hit middle age, you get what I'm saying? You have to take care of yourself. if you are growing up in a patriarchal society, in one way or another, as a woman, when you hit middle age, you will have a backlog of trauma that, even if you don't realize, a lot of it will be linked to patriarchy. Even the toxic feminine, like Afua, her behavior comes about because she has no true knowledge. She speaks about patriarchy, but she has no idea what that truly is. She just knows the book smart definition. Like if you go and Google whatever it says, that's what she knows. But rage is sacred. Womanhood is sacred. Women are the creators on this planet. We birth every single person on this planet. We are of value during every step of our existence. Do you understand? We come in, we embody every aspect of nature. I always say, oh, I'm the goddess. I used to run a business called the Goddess Art Temple. Everything I do is goddess art. Even when I do my hair, when I do my makeup, it's all goddessing to me. Now, seriously, it's all a part of my goddesshood. It's a part of my feminine expression. I embrace so many things in the name of goddessing. And in this kind of Pan-African kind of movement that she aligns her mentality with, there's almost this kind of a suggestion that women must like, don't take the greatest care of your appearance. Don't wear beautiful things. Don't do things that even the ancient Egyptian women were doing, because that's somehow a betrayal of your womanhood. And a lot of those things are perverse thoughts. Those things come from religions that essentially want to put women in little boxes to serve men. Do you understand? To serve men. And then once the woman hits a certain age and maybe she's no longer of childbearing age, then you discard her. That's patriarchy. So I love that I've shared this, because this is me. Like, that part out of all of the video, I'm like, that is so you. This is the wealth of information that I share with women so they can improve their self-esteem, so they can improve their self-love. Do you understand? So they can know themselves. So before this life is finished, they can really immerse themselves in all of their womanhood and to really celebrate what that means. Now, in order for you to truly fight patriarchy, you have to know what patriarchy is. And so I look forward to sharing this. In order for you to fight for the rights of women, you have to understand patriarchy. You have to understand why we live on a planet where undeniably massive volumes of women are in one way or another violated by men. And also you need to know that this can be the case just because of the biology of a man. If you get to know facts, not just a whole heap of belief systems, and you get what I'm saying? A lot of things that are neither here nor there. You have to know who you are. And I know that in my conversations with Afua, she became aware that I am rooted to something deeper than this surface level thing. Do you get what I'm saying? And I will put it to you that she started to hate me. Rather than to let it inspire her, I have been nourished by so many women, elders, friends. I have been nourished by the knowledge of so many women on this planet, that they are all part of the fabric that makes me who I am. But what Afua wants to do is to be seen as the nourisher when essentially she don't know nothing. So she's filling. That's why her audience is so perverse, which I mentioned yesterday. Her audience questions when women dress the way how they want to dress. Their audience, basically, to repeat myself, they say like, oh, you're looking for a man. Anything that a woman does to beautify herself, to express herself that doesn't meet with their expectations, they put it down to man because they are male-centered. How can you have a women's rights organization that is male-centered? That means you are part of the problem because you don't even know what the problem is. And so you can't provide true solutions. True solutions is actually not just calling out offenders. That's not true solutions. True solutions is knowledge. Knowledge that makes women operate differently. Knowledge that makes women understand, oh, this is the agenda behind this man that might be coming to me, or this. And I don't just mean from an assault perspective. Knowledge that makes women know what they bring to the planet, that they are complete beings, that they use all of their anatomy. Knowledge that makes women actually know that from a fetal point, men are weaker than women. Men might be physically stronger than women, but they are biologically weaker than women. So when there's a male child in the womb, that child is more likely to not make it full term. This is biology. This is facts. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you don't know these basic things, you will always see your womanhood like you're Adam's spare rib. You will always see yourself as a spare rib. You are someone who was made out of a rib of someone else. But the truth is, even on a cellular level, to a mental level, women are stronger and superior. That's the reason why the other day I was saying, look, stop running down these men who don't want to look after your children. Stop seeing yourself as a weak person. Know that you have the ability to cope. And that's why it happens on this planet. You don't see as many women running away because they can cope. And don't see it as an abuse. See it as a blessing. That means that someone who can't actually offer anything of value is not around anymore. If you can't step into your power as a woman, you will always perceive your experiences through the lens of victimhood. And most of the time, we are just victims of a lack of proper information. And that is because of patriarchy. Do you get what I'm saying? Right, let me get to these comments. Sully says, going back ages ago, sorry, I forgot to check. She can't control me. That's the reason, coming back to the red and black clothes versus white clothes. She can't control me. She has to control the narrative. Lacey says, definitely she wants to use and control. And that's it. Not just control, but use. That's the pimping part. That's the pimping part. T-Dog, yeah, Tasha K is like the new Wendy Williams. That's what everyone is saying. She is like the new Wendy Williams. She is. I don't want to say, yeah, she's different. Do you get what I'm saying? I never used to watch Wendy Williams. I guess I know of her, but it's that lane of things. With that being said, I have learned a lot on her platform. I will watch her thing and be like, right, is that what's going on? I have learned a lot of things. Even the other day, she posted a video where they were showing that some animals, like some cows, you get what I'm saying? Like how they basically, imagine you slaughter an animal, right? So when you start to cut up the animal into pieces, some of the animal has cysts and pus-filled, sorry, this is disgusting. So she was showing how butchers and farmers would clean the pus out of the animal meat, and put some liquor red dye to make it look good and just sell it to people. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I know that she provides information, but she is into gossip, and she makes no apologies for that. She says, this is my business. So that's what I'm saying. There's a time and place for everything. And she's got over 1 million subscribers, Kerry Mossington, I love the way you articulate. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. And for me, my reluctance to doing lives isn't because I don't have anything to share. That's the next thing. I have a lot to share. Anyway, I don't think that I'm going to show this whole video today. I think I'm going to make this part 1 and do part 2 tomorrow, because I am aware that it is very long, and I love y'all and I love myself. I know most of you here are in the UK and we have to rest. Do you know what I mean? I don't want it to be like yesterday. I think we finished at like 1 a.m. So let me know how you feel about that, please. Please like the video, love the video, and let me know if you would like me to cut it so it's part 1, part 2, so we can actually rest earlier.
In March, when I went live to speak about I Love My Room. For those who may not know, if you're just new here, I Love My Room is an all-female women's movement that I've been doing for coming up to 10 years. Thank you. We do yoga, meditation, visualization, a conversation between heart and womb. And it's just a healing journey, okay? So this is the kind of thing, and practices like that, and lots of different things, whatever's in resonance. Some people need to go for a walk to heal. Do you get what I'm saying? Healing is not one size fits all. Some people need to go for a walk. Some people need to go to the park and just look up at the sky. Some people need to go buy some water. Some people need to go and do some painting. It depends who you are, right? So as I Love My Room was coming up this year, I came online and I said this same thing. If you're doing activism work, you have to take the time to heal We are women. We can't, no one, man or woman, is made to be out on the battle line all the time. It will corrupt your system. You will become traumatized. Do you understand? So I said that. So I'd like to stick a pin, okay? And at this stage, I'd like to, I'm trying to think, should I play a song? Because I'm about to wrap this up and I have to, do I go straight into it? Let me see, let me check the time. Right, I'll say this bit and then I'll go on. At the march, I met an artist called the Pussycat. He approached, that's not his real name, that's what I'm calling him. He approached me and I realized I had seen him on Afua's live before. He's an attractive guy, but I was quite surprised, and so was my friend, because his energy was so big on the live. But when I met him in person, he was shorter than me, and I am 5'4". Okay, right? 5'5". I think I'm 5'5". So he was like about 5'3", and it really threw me. And I'm not being heightist or biased towards short guys. I just, you know, when you see someone in the video, you see them in person, I was like, oh, this dude is proper short. So he was like, oh, because I had performed at the event. Now, I have to mention, no, this is why I feel like I need to break, because I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, I'm just going to finish this video by explaining what happened at Afua's march, what happened following the march, and how that led to a very unjustified, toxic, crab in a barrel attack or attempted attack from Afua towards me that only served a simple purpose to highlight some people who were naive enough to be gaslighted by my troll Bayush. And so Afua, Seeker the Crafter from My Art Therapy, I'll save her for the end. Sarjo's Holistics, Sarjo, Ewuna Carol, Michelle Lewis, who is literally like bed frame, post, mattress, pillow, and duvet of Brent. They allowed a girl in their 20s to gaslight them. Oh, and Aisha, because that's the only reason I mentioned Aisha, because Aisha forgot that it was the police that made her behave herself when she was trolling my page. And she also forgot that I can go to the police at any time and fulfill that charge that I made because of the nature of it. And I've allowed her to run out so I can use this for this day on the 7th of the 7th to address this issue. Now, this video is long, but I will be making episodes out of it. So there'll be shorter bite sizes coming out, because this Please Don't Call Me Sis is the intro to my new music that's coming out. I've got 2 new songs coming out and I love them. And I didn't know, when I was pulling my music up through my archives and showing you guys the stuff from the past. I even showed you guys a sitcom that I did, all this stuff. I didn't know that these crabs were dying so much to be highlighted on my platform that they would put me in a situation where, for my future descendants, and out of respect for my child, I'm going to come once and for all. And like I've said in every video that I've played so far, I'm going to nip it in the bud. You see, if you watch this video, you'll see at the beginning that in 2020, I came live on my Facebook page and I said, it is 2020, I'm going to nip it in the bud. But I also said, I know this is going to happen again. And now I'm here 3 years later. I don't have one more example of how it happened again. Not 2, not 3, not 4, but all 7 examples of how these degenerate feminines who refuse to heal and to take responsibility for the gifts that the divine gave to them, who refuse to go and work on their gifts, how they turn on people, as Bevy Boo said on my page, who have the bravery to go ahead and do the work. I am not more confident than anybody else. The reason why I feel I've been able to do so many things is because I have always been a single parent. Since my daughter was I've always been a single parent. And as my friend explained to me yesterday, a lone parent. She said a single parent is like you're not with the partner, but you're co-parenting, right? But a lone parent is where there's no co-parenting. I've always been a single parent and a co-parent to my daughter. And for that reason, I've had to do everything to stay above, to stay afloat. Haven't always made it. It hasn't always been easy. Haven't, but that's been the fuel. Not to have my ego stroked, clearly, because if that was the case, there's so many ways more I can share. You just don't even understand. I've become so introvert over the years. It's foul. I'm good. So the work that I'm doing is not to get validation. It's not for you to stroke my ego. It has been to sustain my home and my family. So the ongoing assault against my work and reputation from a woman who has grandchildren shows how immoral she is. Because I thought to myself on several occasions, when Afua decided to do this disgusting ghetto gyal campaign, like some little gyal where I sell on a back road, the way she communicate, the things she's saying, the way she's talking, you just coming like you're born around back road. And for those from Jamaica, you know what that means. I'm thinking, but you've got a 12-year-old daughter. You've got daughters in their 30s and 20s. Are you meaning to tell me that at no stage before, during, and after you were doing this, you didn't reflect on your womanhood? Your womanhood and say, firstly, you aren't going to believe what I want to tell you because I didn't do anything to Afua. So that's why I guess this is the weirdest thing because with everyone else, there's something that led to it. But with Afua, not really. She's a clout chaser. She ran out of things to talk about on her platform. I said something on my platform. It was not about her. Anyone can go and see it. It's on my Afrobelly YouTube. I'll make it public on the Linnea one again. I said something on my YouTube. I didn't mention her name. It wasn't a shade. I called one person's name. It was not about her. I said nothing negative. And Afua became afraid. She became afraid that, oh, if Linnea is saying this, is she going to speak about that? And I never was. I had no intention. I still haven't to this day. And because she was afraid, she wanted to get ahead of any potential damage to her clearly fragile and underdeveloped ego, her ill-defined ego. And so her psyche as a grandmother of 53, married, already divorced, another child, not with the child, you're a big woman. Her psyche was, let me be that toxic, feminine, canine female. Let me demonstrate to the world the caliber, the ilk of woman that I am. And that's what you did, Afua. And it was great. Because no one didn't have to tell anyone anything about Afua because of how she conducts herself. Imagine, I sat down in my house one day and someone called me and said, have you watched Afua's live? I said, I stopped watching that long time. This must have been about January. I can't watch those things because I do a lot of intense work, whatever I'm creating. I find that when I want to take a break, if I want to watch media, it has to be intense, like a good high budget psychological Netflix, good high budget, or it can be very fluffy, something that's like, this is almost bordering on foolishness. But what it can't be, or documentaries, I love documentaries, but what it can't be is every time I come to your channel, it's a downer, you've got no solutions, and you're speaking like you've got no education. You're saying that you're a psychologist. I never even mentioned here where I studied yet, because it's not important, but I have studied. You're saying that you're a psychologist, but you're speaking in a way that my child never speaks like that. And she, I think, urban slang, she would have more of a reason to be speaking. Well, she doesn't, my daughter doesn't speak like that. All this kind of verbiage like demand them and like you're a child, like you're a young girl. You're evincing who you are. You have a platform. When I don't have much to offer or say, I don't have much to offer or say. What I'm not going to do is just sit on my platform and basically attack people because the reason why I set up my platform has now changed. Now, if you set up a platform that's to expose predators, that's what your platform is about. So the sister contacted me, have you watched Afua's latest video? I said, no. She said, please watch. I goes, why? I don't want to bring my energy down. Seriously, She said, Afua is really cussing out this lady. It's really bad. So I checked it, and she was like cursing this lady and saying that the lady came for her for help, for counseling, but the lady's too sick. And I cried. I remember watching the video, I cried, and I thought, how could she be talking to someone who came to her for help? And she's a psychologist, you know. She's not a yoga teacher. She's a psychologist. That's how you teach. That's how you speak to a client that you decide that you can't work with. You go online to your platform of thousands of people and you curse them to the ground. And I cried and I said, this is bad. The next time, and this is the last time, and this is what led to me and Afua. Like, she can't call back my phone. Same lady. It's happened a few times. I've seen Afua say some really dirty things that I can't believe a grown woman would tell another woman to do things. Like, I'm not going to repeat it. If I wanted to, I could have done a screenshot and shared it with you guys. But that kind of filth can never come on my channel. I do not run a reality TV show. And yes, now and then we can have a little swear word, but we're not dirty out here. We're not ratchet. Not just straight up ratchet, ghetto. I don't want to say ghetto, you know why? Because I have family from the ghetto and I've never heard them speak in the way how I've heard Afua speak on her platform. So it's a disrespect even to ghetto people. That's why I can't even find the word. Let's just say subhuman. Subhuman. When the Most High, nature, the divine, the universe, whatever it is, your life, gives you 53 years, you need to work on yourself so you can be, at least, if you can't be an example to others, you can be upright for yourself. So there was a video where Pussycat, the rapper, the same rapper who I'm going to discuss in a minute, he had been accused of being an assaulter of women and of children, I think. And Afua was using her platform to defend him. And I felt that fundamentally something was wrong with that. And I've seen her do it before. I felt like if you set up a platform to highlight the injustice of women being assaulted, you're going to attract a lot of women who've been assaulted. And the kind of platform she has, most of the women, they're not even being encouraged to heal. It's just an angry thing. So you're trauma bonding with your audience, basically. But you have a niche, and the niche is, this is to avenge women. So you can't then bring onto that same niche platform men who have been accused. You can bring on men who've been assaulted, but I don't think it's the right, professionally, because I'm a professional, right? It's not a vigilante thing. That would have to take place on a separate platform because it's like it's going against your brand. And it's also sending mixed messages. And you're triggering because you don't care about your audience. You're not caring about your audience who don't care about those guys. Basically, no, you don't. And part of the reason why she lacks the empathy is because of her mental imbalance. Because she said to me a few times in conversation, well, she's so glad she's never experienced assault before. And I thought, what a highly insensitive thing to say to someone who has experienced sexual assault, who you met because you have a platform that supports women who experience sexual assault. Like, who are you? What a narcissistic thing. You're fake. How could you, where in your psychology training did you think that saying something like that was acceptable? But the flip side of it is to show the psychosis, it's not even true. Because the last time Afua said that to me, well, at least I haven't experienced that. I said, but Afua, you sat on the phone with me And you told me, I'm sure you've already told your audience, how this man, whether it was an uncle, some old man, some neighbor, used to come to the house and fill you up, even when your father was in the house. He used to run you around. She told me that she was assaulted. What happened was she wasn't penetrated, but she was groomed and assaulted as a little girl, and that never happened to me. So I'm thinking, you're looking down your nose at women who've experienced assault when you were actually groomed and assaulted. You were assaulted as a child, but you don't remember that you said that, and you're running this platform. You need the same psychologist that you say you are. You need assistance. And if you try to hide it, that's fine, because it can't hide, because now it's just all come out. And people who have sense, of which there are many in the UK and all over the world, they have sense. They can look and see something is way off here. Not just a little bit off, not this is a bad day. There's a corruption here. Before I explain what caused Afua to run scared into a stupid clout chasing spin propaganda campaign against me, I'm going to explain what's wrong with her so she can go fix it. She experienced assault as a young child. She has an issue with her mom because she has the same toxic femininity issue. She speaks about it on her platform. I'm not chatting her business. This is part of her narrative. Her mom cheated on her father consistently, so she sees her father as having integrity. She sees women as not having integrity. She says on her own platforms that are there to support and defend women that she doesn't like women as friends. Whenever women say that to me, I don't want them around me personally. Now, I understand if you say you don't have a lot of female friends, you got like one or two, that's fine. No one needs more. But when you categorically as a woman say you don't like females and you don't want any female friends, something means that means you definitely don't want me as a friend, because I'm female. And I've always had male and female friends, maybe two of each, and I'm good. You get what I'm saying? So it's the hypocrisy, it's the contradiction, it's the conflict in the energy, the two separate polarities. You've been assaulted, you're saying you're looking down at the people who have. You're running a platform, you're looking down at the people who have. You're saying you haven't when that's come out of your mouth. You're supposed to be pro-woman, you don't have female friends. You got like 3-4 daughters, you don't like women. I told her I was spending some time with my daughter. I could never do that. Me and my daughter, she was acting so disgusted, so snooty. I'm thinking, you're lost because you don't know I'm so blessed to spend time with my daughter. It is not a burden. It is not a curse. It is a gift. It is not a given. That's why it's a gift. And even the way how she spoke about she couldn't live more than 2 days with her daughter, I was just like, your energy is off. So this is part of her issue. And on a deeper psyche level, she came in with a hunger for power. She used to be an artist. If you look on her profile, it says she's an actor, she's a singer. You can't say you're those things if you can't evidence it. Where is the acting? Where is the link? Where is it? Where is your music? She's talking about things that she did like 25 years ago. But she doesn't feel complete with her identity. She wants to be more. But the more she wants to be is something she has to feed into herself. But she wants other people. She wants to be a hero. She says she used to do Black activism. So she wants to be someone who's known for shouting and making up a noise. And that's fine if you are impacting positive change. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But she's reached a stage in her life, some of the things that what she thought would sate her didn't sate her. So she was married to, from what she says, a massive successful man, very successful.
Sorry, you know what cracks me up? This is how you know that I'm not a liar. Watching this, I'm like, January, nobody can call me no liar. You know why? The amount of things that I've said in this first video. So this is the first video that I've ever made about Afua Rose. I've made 2. Okay, this was the first one. I have said literally the same things throughout the last 3 lives or 4 lives, however many that I've done. I think I've done 4. I know some of you who have been here on the previous lives must be thinking, literally, that's the same exact thing, word for word. And that's how you know that I'm not a liar. But Afua can't keep up with her lies. She can't keep up. It's crazy. So I'm waiting because I think I am going to play a song in this video. It's one of my songs because I had to break it up because the live was so long. I had to be like, watch this video, watch that video. So when the song comes on, then I'll wrap this up and I will share the rest of the video. I'm literally halfway through this video now. So I'll share the rest of the video tomorrow.
Very proficient, intelligent, everything. She did say he was a narcissist, which is likely because she's very much on the spectrum of that. But she said he did everything. He was a responsible father to all the children. Homes were purchased, businesses were provided. They did great work together. So the reason why they divorced was because he kept on cheating on her. And I remember thinking, what, as a big woman, you divorce your husband because of that? But that's because I'm from Jamaica. And I'm thinking, well, after a certain age, you did that. Okay, cool. Whatever. So she divorced her husband after living quite a stable life, never experiencing a waste man, never experiencing the rougher side of life. And then after that, she felt disillusioned with love and with life. And so I think obviously she went through the whole thing of being convicted and doing time in prison. And she said when she came out, she fancied a bit of rough. Did you hear that? Big woman are telling me now. So she went out with who she says is a waste man. I don't know him. I'm not going to call that man a waste man. I don't know his family. Total disrespect. Yeah. Remember, I'm an artist. I could sit down and chat people for days. I don't have no song, yeah, about listen. Anyway, let's just stop it. She said she fancied a bit of rough. She ended up with a man who had also recently come out of prison. She infamously calls the father of the last child a jailbird. So she's gone from having like a pioneering, innovative community leader to a South London Brixton Road man who is more of a sellout. That's what she's saying. So the power that she was able to access through her first partnership isn't available. And then coincidentally, simultaneously, at the same time, her vision is now focused on South London, the same place where the father of the child comes from. And she spends a year and a half building up a platform primarily exposing men who assault women from South London, men who know the father of her child, men who were raised. London is not just South London. She isn't even from South London. She's from somewhere else. London is a big place. It's got 4 main north, south, east, and west. But England is a massive place. And wherever there are Caribbean communities, you will find this predatory behavior that she says she's dealing with taking place. But the obsession is showing itself in the track record. So in the track record, she now focuses on the men in the community where her daughter's father's from. She spends a year and a half building up her platform, building up her status, being a big mouth exposer, not an articulate one. She doesn't create one piece of content. She only goes live. Do you understand? So she's an actress, she's a poet, she's a singer, she's an activist, but she doesn't create one piece of content to show where her intellect is. No, she only goes live and talks and talks and talks, and so that's what she does. Until one day she uses the platform that was set up to expose said predators to make a video of her running after the child's father go viral. That's Afua's issue. You need to heal. Heal from the disappointment. You are powerful. I don't need social media to think that I'm powerful. It doesn't define me. It's an extension of the work that I do. You don't need people you need to feel whole. You bring that wholeness into your platform and into the world, and you, my dear, will know peace. You will thrive. You will do so well. So I have another section to come, the last section. And I thank you all so much for being here so far. See you on the other side.
Living in this place that I call I, this world that I call mine. My world is so precious, it's so sacred. Anybody try to infiltrate gets erased and replaced with beautiful vibrations, healing and peace. You offer me separation. You offer me self-degradation. You want to replace my peace with confusion. Want me not to love myself. You thrive when I'm deluded. You offer me self-destruction. You give me poisons and the instructions. You give me false images to distort my vision. It's like a deprivation to destroy my vibration. Surround me with foes, but my ancestors, they see, they know. Living in this place that I call I, this world that I call mine. I decline your offer. Living in this place that I call I, this world that I call mine. I decline your offer. Your offer. Your offer. Big tune, big tune. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. So we're coming up to 12:30. So I think it's a good idea that I'm like, yeah, let's cut it, because if there's half more of the video to go, you can imagine we can't be here for no long time. I do believe in wellness. I believe in healing. I believe in peace. So I do wish everyone a good night, and thank you so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Big up to everyone who is healing from whatever it is. It might not be Afua Rose, you know. She's just an archetype. If I was to give her an archetype from the tarot, I would give her the devil card. One day I'll show you a few devil cards so you can see what the energy looks like. She's a puppet master, and I'm thankful that I've had the opportunity to not only speak on this before, but to bring what I've said in the past up into the present. Do you see what I mean? Because there's nothing that I feel that I've said that isn't still relevant. When I watch the video, the only thing that I'm kind of like, I don't really agree with what I've said is where I've said, I can't believe that you left your husband. Sorry. I can't believe that she left her husband for cheating on her. Like, I think now I'm like, well, actually, that's not my place to be. You know, everyone has to do what they have to do. And obviously, if you're with someone and you don't feel cherished, you don't feel loved, you don't feel like you're being taken care of, then definitely you should leave that person regardless of the age that you are. But separate to that, I pretty much agree with everything that I've said. And it is wonderful to highlight just after she's been arrested, while she's got all these cases going on, when people create content really detailing their experiences with Afua Rose, it helps for the future. It's not just about the present. It helps for the future. It creates reference points for people. Maybe if when I had first heard of her, if I had Googled her and saw a video similar to mine where a woman was saying what I'm saying, I'd be like, oh, no. So it can help people to have more information, to make more informed decisions. And I feel like even when it comes to court, even when it comes to legal matters, these kind of videos, they do help. They show that it's not just the accused or the person that's pressing charges that has actually been affected, but there's a whole range of people who have been affected by Afua Rose. So protect yourself, protect your energies, protect your neck. If you'd like to reach out to me in any way, if you'd like to reach out to me about being affected by Afua Rose in any way, please contact me via my website. It's linneaofficial.com. You can also head over to my other YouTube channel, that is Linnea. All of my music is up there. And yeah, let's have a wonderful week. We're still very much at the beginning of the week. So may we all have a great cycle. You know, we're wrapping up March. I've had a few people reach out to me, by the way, about my I Love My Room event that is happening on Sunday. The tickets are completely sold out. For that reason, I will be having another silent meditation event and other I Love My Room events throughout the year, because it is my 10th year. And I feel like now is the time to kind of evolve and adjust and change how I've been doing things, so it won't just be focused on Women's Month. And remember, this is International Women's Month. And sometimes, you see, truth is an amazing thing. And I can say that Afua Rose tried to damage me. Bottom line, she tried to damage me. She tried to damage my daughter. Do you understand? Like, personally, she tried to damage me. And if this is something that is highlighted in Women's Month, then so be it, because you always have two sides of the coin, and the soul loves truth. So even though the ego might be negatively affected by truth and rare, the soul loves truth. Okay? We could be here celebrating, commemorating Afua Rose for doing really positive works when it comes to women and women's rights. But instead, here I am as a woman, as a mother. Do you understand what I'm saying? Speaking about how this vampirous woman, this perverse thinker, this narcissistic person, this controlling cult-like leader, someone who has refused to heal, has tried to damage me because she has failed to hold responsibility, to take responsibility for her own healing. And so no matter what has happened to you, and I'll say it again, I want to say it every single live, the person who hurt you is not responsible for your healing. If you step in some poop on the road, you can't go and find the dog or the dog owner. And personally, as a dog owner, I don't like that stuff. I'm very, very like meticulous when it comes to taking care of my dog. But you can't find the dog owner. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't go to the dog and say, look, you made me step in your poop. Once you get dirty, you understand? Once you step in some crap, it is now your responsibility to heal. So please don't give other people, specifically your perpetrators, your abusers, your damagers, responsibility that is actually your own. And please don't negate your healing. Like, through healing, I've done so many layers of healing. It literally has saved my life. It's made me happy. It's made me lighter, you know, in terms of my energy. It's freed me from the bondage. And that's for men and women. Stop walking around with the world on your back. Start to unpack it. Find a healing tool that works for you and embrace it so you can live. That's regardless of your age, your status, your education, whatever. Those are just details. There's so much life to be lived, you get what I'm saying, on this planet. And oftentimes when you're damaged, when you're traumatized, it is hard to live. And I'm saying that from experience. So do yourself a solid, do yourself a favor and heal, okay? And I don't mean it like and heal, like just press a button and heal. I mean it like start to take steps towards your healing. Being responsible for your healing is a way of loving yourself. And when you love yourself, things get better. So again, thanks for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. I will be here again at 10 p.m. I will share the second part of this video, and then that's the end of my backlog sharing. I have done videos about Killer P. You can check them out. One of the videos came from this 7-hour sharing. I've also done videos about his narcissism and how I personally discovered he was a narcissist the very day that I met him at Afua's March, and what my experiences of him has been. And I feel like that's important because what I experienced with Killer P essentially contributed to why Afua Rose attacked me. And rather than for her to honor whatever pledge that she should have made to protect and to support women, she literally came out of her little hole and tried to destroy me. And as you can see, time is longer than rope. It didn't work then, it won't work now, and it won't work in the future because I'm dealing with truth. The last thing I want to mention is this. I have not created any content where I'm telling lies about anyone. I'm not creating content based on lies, ever. I don't need to lie. I find that the truth is always much more effective than a lie. However, Afua has intentionally gathered information about me and spread what she already knows are lies. And the next video will show Afua caught in another lie where she intentionally worked with people who she knew were lying in order to damage me. Stop being jealous of other people. When you do the work on yourself and you fill any holes that are in your heart, you'll be so thankful for who you are and for the fact that you have another day on this planet. You have family, you have children, you have friends, you have somewhere to live. Let's start giving thanks for the basics, like, did you actually eat today? When we can humble ourselves and be thankful for the basic things in life, then we won't be so licky, so bad. You get what I'm saying? So some people just licky. Anything what other people have, they want it. Even the healing. Someone will want your healing, but they won't be willing to do the work. And I'm telling you this, I think I've been through an extraordinary amount of trauma in my life. And I've done a lot of healing, and it wasn't easy. But what would have been less easy would to have been to literally just accept and surrender and to allow myself to devolve into a perpetual, never-ending wound. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it may be hard to take that step. It may be feeling like, okay, I'm going up a very steep hill, but what's at the bottom of the hill behind you is a swampy gully. It's stagnant. It's toxic. So please don't let anyone discourage you from loving yourself enough to heal and to honor your gifts and to do things that feel like, you came onto the planet to do this. And on that note, have a beautiful night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Deuces.